Renshi Crystal here. Today I'm just going to talk you through some of our basic kicks that we do here in Bikito Karate. Hopefully, if you've already been training, you've got the fundamentals of these, but this is really about just making sure that your technique's accurate, you're able to refine that technique, and so that when you're practicing them, you're really making sure that they're really accurate and on point. So we're just going to go through some of the basic ones that we would use in our sparring and also some of the ones we would use in our katas. We won't cover off everything, but just a few to get you started, okay? So just right foot back to start with. Whenever you're practicing your kicks, it's always really good practice to keep those hands up. So we're always ready there to defend and making sure that our stance is correct, okay? So I'm just going to start these in a fighting stance. So fighting stance is both feet facing forward, that front leg is slightly bent, and see my back foot's facing forward and it's not bent out like that, okay? So that's where we're going from. So we're going to do Kingari to start with. Kingari is a groin kick. So even though it's a kick down to our groin, we'll still bring our knee nice and high. We still chain with that leg before we follow through on the kick. Okay, so now this kick is one of the only kicks where we actually keep our toes pointed down, okay? So all of our other kicks, we're encouraging you to get your toes pointed back, and that's what we want to be doing pretty much the majority of the time, but with our Kingari, because it's that flick kick to the groin, we keep those toes down, okay? So we're just going to do 5 off our right leg. 1, 2, 3, knee still comes up, toes down. 4, 5. Okay, Morte. Morte means change feet, so now our left leg should be back. Again, low kick, still bring that knee up. Chamber it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Loose. Right foot back. Okay, switching around so you can see. The next kick we're going to do is our Kansetsugeri kick. Now, Kansetsugeri is a kick into the knee. So that's the height you should be aiming at. Again, even though it's a lower kick, we still bring that knee up nice and high, and then we drive the kick down. This kick goes out on a 45-degree angle. So if I'm facing forward like this, I want my kick to be out in this direction here. So knee still comes up in front, but then we kick out and down. Up, out, down. Okay, what we're doing here is we're blading our foot. So I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see, but blading our foot essentially looks like that, okay? So we're trying to kick with this whole area across here. Some people find it easier to blade their foot by bringing their big toe up. That's fine if that works for you. The main thing is that we're getting that heel out and creating a nice, strong area there with our foot. Okay, so from here, we're coming up, knee comes up, out in a 45, and down. Okay, on the side, this is what it looks like, knee up, 45, and then down. I'm going to do 5 off each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knee still comes up. Switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Morte. Loose. Now the next kick we're going to do is our Maigeri. Now this is the most important kick you can learn, okay? This kick is really useful in sparring. You can do it 2 ways. You can do it as a big power kick off the back, or you can use it off the front as a quick defensive kick, okay? So the reason this kick's so good is it creates a physical barrier between you and your opponent. Other kicks that are coming around to the side are really effective, but they're not actually creating that physical barrier like our Maigeri does. So with our Maigeri, what we're doing is if it's off the back, which is what we're going to practice today, it's that big power kick. It's up, knee up, again, toes pointed back. So you want a toes pointed back, and you want to be hitting with this part of your foot here, okay? So that's what you want your extended foot to look like. So from here, up, back, and down. If we were doing it off the front as a defensive kick, it's a bit quicker, but it's not got much, it doesn't have much power, okay? So we'll try it off with power off the back, speed off the front. Okay, we're going to do some power ones off the back. So, hands up, knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Morte, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Loose. Right foot back. Okay, when I'm switching my hands, okay? So from here, if I've got the back foot there, that hand's sitting up on my chin ready to go. As I bring it up, I'm switching those defenses, okay? So I've always got myself protected. Okay, right foot back again. We're going to do more shigiri next. This one's a little bit more difficult, so give it a go. Hopefully you practice this in class. If not, the main things we want to do, keep in mind with this kick, even though, again, we're kicking out to the side, we still bring our knee up nice and high, okay? So that we do that with all our kicks, that knee comes up. Now this kick, it's really important that we open our hips up, all right? So if you try and do a more shigiri with this foot grounded, you can do it, but you're not going to get the same level of power, and if you're not doing your technique properly, you might put some pressure on your knee as well. So what I like to do with this kick is we just open up off that front foot so that our hips are nice and wide, and then we can do a really nice more shigiri like that. But when I'm landing, I'm coming back into that stance, okay? So what the more shigiri looks like, nice and slowly, again, knee comes up. If you think about your mai-geri, I'll do it side on so you can see a bit better. Your mai-geri looks like this, moshi looks like that. Mai-geri, moshi, okay? So that's the part that you want to be hitting with, mai-geri, moshi. So wanting to come that up around and into the ribs there. When you're aiming this kick, be really clear about where your target is. There's no point doing more shigiri onto someone's shoulder or arm, okay? It's not going to bother them. You want to come into the floating ribs or the head. So if you've got the stretch and the power to go for the head, fabulous. If not, just bring it down a bit lower, going for the ribs there, okay? So knee comes up and around. Knee comes up and around. Up and around. I'll try and do it slow. Up, round. It's actually harder to do slow than it is fast. Okay, I'm going to do 5 of each leg. Right foot back. Remember to open those hips up so you pivot off that front a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're switching. Again, opening up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching back. Okay, next kick we're going to do is an inside-outside crescent kick. So this kick comes across our body in a big crescent and down, okay? So the purpose of this kick is to either knock someone's hands down or you can land it nice and square in the jaw, okay? So most of you are probably going to go for hand height at this stage. So all we're doing is we're coming across our body and around. You can do this kick 2 ways. You can do it with a straight leg, or you can bring the knee up and get that extra flick, okay? Both are effective. I prefer the latter. I prefer to bend my knee because you get that extra speed and that extra flick. If you do it with a straight leg, it's a little bit slower. But again, just see what your body mechanics are like, which one works better for you, okay? So knee comes up, across the body and round. Again, making sure we're landing nice and clean. Okay, 5 off your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching, off our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching. Good. Okay, now we're doing outside inside kick. Same principle, but instead of coming across our body and around, we're coming out and in. Okay, so essentially just reversing what we've just done. So again, from here, right foot back, around and down. This one, great for knocking the hands down, particularly if you're going to, say, follow it up with another kick. We won't do that for now, but for now we'll just do our crescent kick, okay? So from here, down and out. Right foot back. 1. Get that knee up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching. Okay, off our left. 1, 2. Hands are up. 3, 4, 5. Us. All right, we'll leave it there for today. I'll do another video with some more advanced kicks, but they're your basics. I can't emphasize enough how important your mai-geri is, so if you've got an opportunity to practice that one, get it looking really good, I'd really recommend it. But the main thing to remember with all of our kicks, our basic ones and our advanced, is our footwork's really important. If you're really narrow and you try and do a kick and you land it, you're going to be off balance. Likewise, if you're really wide, you're not going to be able to get that power, okay? So just making sure that your footwork is nice and square, and also just making sure that you're chambering that leg. When we say chambering the leg, what we mean is that we're keeping that knee up and then doing our follow through. So from here, we can go Maigeri from the same position, we can go Mawashi from the same, we can go crescent, we can go Kinsetsu-geri, you know, pretty much every kick, okay? So that's super important. So if you're ever thinking, oh, my kick's not really working, think about your knee. Think about you getting that knee up nice and high. The other thing to remember with your chambering is when you're finishing off your kick, that you retract and you bring it back, okay? So we're not going kick, drop. From here, we're kicking, bring it back, retracting, okay? So bringing it back is just as important as how we push it out, okay? So keep that in mind. Thanks everyone.